Live from Liquid Studio Group, it's 3 Men and a Mic with your host, Joe Barron, Gene Belmares, and the Honorable Javier Montemayor, our closer. 3 minds, 1 mic, 0 filter. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. 3 Men and a Mic starts now.
Welcome back to 3 Men and a Mic. Your host, Joe Barron, Javier Montemayor, and Gene Belmares. And today's hot topic is going to be the paranormal. We've got some great guests here to visit on that topic. Guys, we can review what are the big things happening?
There's a lot of things happening.
Right?
Yeah, from weather to sports to politics.
Politics, yes, sir.
There's a lot of things going on, man.
What do you think about the World Cup? It's almost over. France and Spain played today, and who won that game?
Spain won.
Spain won. Spain beat.
So tomorrow it's Argentina and
England.
And so the winner plays Spain.
Yeah.
Where are they going to play? Do you know?
I don't know. They were playing in Miami, weren't they?
The championship? Is it gonna be in
They were playing all over. It's Dallas, Miami, Kansas City, Seattle.
New York?
It might be New York, no?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting to see.
I don't know.
And any predictions? Does Argentina beat England?
I think it's going to be Argentina and Spain.
I hope they do, just because they're the ones that beat the U.S.
That's a good way to put it.
Good way. It's a good way to put it. But England beat Mexico as well. So
Yeah. Interesting.
I was rooting for England at that point
To beat who?
to beat Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Only to pick on you, Joe. I was
Yeah.
just doing it to poke at you, man.
That's close to being un-American.
That's
We're
it.
on the border.
We're on the-
You grow up with, a lot of Mexican influence here, and so
I am a semi-first generation American. My mother was born in Mexico, so yeah, I can apply for dual citizenship.
They said, I think they came out with some TV ratings. The moment Mexico was ousted, it was like the party's over. Like no one's really paying attention anymore.
Everybody was reaching for the USA shirt.
for the U.S. That was a terrible game.
Yeah.
I think the U.S. just choked.
The
And
wheels-
they did really good. They've done better than they have in the past.
The
but
wheels came off.
That was
It was the
that
call.
something to
It was the
watch.
intervention made by President Trump.
Oh, good Lord! Yeah, dry.
See?
Yeah.
So the Republican influence in this game really killed it. Killed it.
And yet they had the highest rating UFC fight ever on the White House
Okay,
lawn.
let's talk about
Yes.
that. So I was really looking forward to watching a good fight, that UFC fight on Saturday.
Oh, with Conor McGregor, yeah.
Conor McGregor, and it just it just died. I just couldn't believe.
Both main events, the co-main event,
Yeah.
both of them were done within 57 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean that's
Yeah.
I mean that is similar to Mike Tyson getting in the ring. Those fights were over in the first or second round and it was done.
So just Vegas odds, right, for McGregor and McGregor's fight. 90% of the bets in Vegas were in favor of McGregor winning. Can you imagine?
So everybody lost
Oh,
money.
the house lost something
There's
fierce.
some pissed off people.
A
Man.
lot of pissed off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So then ICE, we've got a couple more incidents with ICE that we were talking about earlier, and look, don't run. God, dog it. Why do people treat law enforcement with such disrespect these days? Where they just run? And it's not just ICE. We've had shootings in Austin and Dallas and Houston where traffic runs.
Gene,
how
but
does
they're not
running
running.
justify a shooting?
It doesn't.
When you use the car as a weapon to try to run the
no,
agent. So.
Gene, that hasn't happened. Man.
It happened with Alex Perry.
It
and
hasn't happened.
with
It's a subjective.
Look,
It
it's-
depends on who you're talking to. If I'm
Yeah.
talking to a room full of agents, the vehicle was a weapon. If I'm talking to a bunch of non-agents,
protesters. Yeah, of course.
it's,
Yeah,
it's subjective. It's subjective.
So these last two cases, from what I get, what I listen to, ICE has come out and said, "Oops, it was the wrong individual."
well, yeah.
How do you?
But why did the wrong individual run? Why did he step on the
So
gas?
you're being
keep going?
followed. There's a car behind you. No ID, masked guys.
No
It stops looking like a pullover and more like a kidnapping.
no ID. I mean, those guys come out with uniforms.
No, the
and-
unit, the car itself. It looks like
Unmarked?
unmarked.
But it usually has government plates on it. That's how they're tracking them.
No.
Well, that's how they're tracking them. That's why they take pictures of these
And,
things.
and even if you did run, so what?
Yeah, no, I get. I
Why
get
do you shoot him? Just because
when
he
you're
ran?
using the car in a manner which, according to them, was used as a weapon. I mean,
Have you ever seen the federal government, ICE, FBI, DEA come out and say, no, you know what, our agents were wrong?
yeah,
Never has happened.
didn't they just charge an agent recently here, either Oklahoma
If it's-
or
I think one of them was picked
yeah.
up, right, by FBI.
by FBI? Yeah,
That's what I think
they've
so.
charged one recently.
Probably
And again,
confused
it's-
as a documented agent.
the reality is that there are bad cops, there are bad ICE agents, there are bad FBI agents. I mean,
Yeah.
all over. But right now, everything being so charged, so polarized, why take the risk of turning
So-
your
so-
car and going?
So we
Add
can
an
say
agent
that,
with
right?
it.
We can say, okay, why do people run, right? Okay, so in that also, when before this administration, when ICE hired people, they would go through like a year-long training, 9-month training.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, their training is online
90 days.
and 90 days. How can you train an officer correctly within online and in 90 days?
I
Come
get
on,
that,
man.
but,
You
but
can't.
those agents
You
that have been
can't.
involved in those shootings, none of them were 90-day agents. None of them. All of them had years of service.
Even more so.
And some of them came over from other agencies prior to coming to that. So you can't use that as an
No,
excuse for the
but
reason
we
that
can.
it's
It's the same
happening.
thing. Like how can you run? Like you're nervous, you're scared, you're
How many times
intimidated.
have we been pulled over and we just sit there, give the officer your driver's license, as scared as you may be? I mean, I've been pulled over in East Texas, same place where they dragged a man with chains, in that same time frame, more or less. Just sit there, hands 10-2 on the steering wheel, give him my driver's license, give him my registration.
Mm-hmm.
In those days, they asked you for that and they asked you for insurance.
Yeah. So and I've never been one to advise clients to challenge authority on the street or to get
Day in court.
Get out of you're going to have your day in court. There's a process to everything. That being said, I just don't always believe that what ICE does is justified. The killings are not justified. The shootings are not always justified. I don't think that their life is
Well,
always as threatened as they're gonna. The rhetoric, the response is
Well,
gonna be, he used the
the
vehicle
one-
as a
So,
weapon.
There
so
was-
this
there
young
was
man,
one
the
in
last
particular-
one, the last young man, he was in the car. I think he had already passed away. They dragged him out and they handcuffed him.
Yep.
Lifeless.
but that's
That's
particle.
No,
Yes,
it's
There
not.
are some people that should be
No,
arrested. I'll tell you,
Joe, I've seen police officers shoot individuals. You'll see the clips. The guy's shot. They turn around and they handcuff him long before ambulances get there.
No.
I saw one where the officer used his vehicle to run him over because the guy was shooting at multiple cops. They ran him over, and then they handcuffed him after he'd already run him over.
there's a lot of times, and you see these on the TikTok videos and the reels that are out there. For example, where the individual drives up to the checkpoint and begins to question the officers there. You can't ask me that. I refuse to answer you. And,
Yeah,
and,
those,
and they
free
start
free citizens.
challenging
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like some of those guys, I understand. Maybe they should be pulled out of their cars, and I understand that because it gets
Well,
it's a waste of time sometimes trying to
There's
have a
a-
logical discussion with some of these
Yes.
people. But as far as the use of weapons and things like that, it's getting
Well,
it's getting
it's
to be very
gotten-
challenging times. The ICE agents were in our neighborhood the other day picking up gardeners and people who were working there.
Roofers.
Roofers, maybe, I don't know. I didn't go and check, but some of the people who were around there told us, hey, there's ICE. is
No,
picking
the two
people
of the
up.
guys that
But
were
I
And they
brought.
were unmarked units.
I will tell you that the part of that, and my son being a former police officer, former Parks and Wildlife game warden, trained SWAT, and he does private investigations, those kind of things. One thing he will tell you is that this generation of law enforcement officer does not want to get into a fight. They're not prepared for it. So they go for their taser, go for the gun. Instead of, in the old days, there was going to be fisticuffs. Or you could use your baton. There's a line from a movie where Eddie Murphy says, "Officer, can I suggest you use your nightstick?"
Yeah. I saw that movie.
But again, the one officer in Minnesota had previously been dragged 6 months before. Now, there's some questions on whether he should have been back out on the street on the force after suffering that kind of trauma. And
PTSD.
then, yep. And so when that vehicle comes towards him, even if it glanced him, he fired.
So then you look at all this stuff going on, and I think in several cases, some of these guys that have lost their lives, they had a daughter in the car. This young man at the end, 26, 20, had a 3-year-old daughter in the car. You guys they're shooting.
So what about responsibility of the driver? It's
So-
not running when you have a
so-
3-year-old daughter in your car.
So I get it, right? But what I think that to me is even sad, or makes things worse, is that it seems somewhere along the way we've lost a little bit of compassion.
Absolutely. I think we have. I think
We've
social
lost
media
a
has done that to us.
little bit of the humanity of the thing.
Morality.
Right?
It's
Morality.
It's my book.
Right?
What I say.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
loss
yeah.
of the human connection.
I think that's what's wrong, right? So this guy's already gone, and he had legal. He was already legally here. He had a Social Security. He had all this.
why
So
run,
he's
Joe?
gone. No, I get it. So he's gone, and he's still getting blasted.
Again, my question is, why run? You got all your ducks in
Yeah,
a row.
but
right?
again,
Everything's
yeah,
in a
Gene,
row.
like okay, so yeah, he made a
Well,
mistake.
but
He
here's-
ran, whatever the case might be. But okay, so now okay, ¿sabes qué? May he rest in peace, and
Here's-
that's it. Let
and
it
here's what
be.
here's what I tell my kids. Well, social media is part of the blame for that. Now everybody who's on one side or the other side seems to gloat when something like that happens. But here's what I tell my kids: be respectful, follow the commands, do everything they tell you, and at the end of the day, when you're done, say, "I'll see you in court," and that's it. Go out and get somebody like David Almaraz or Javier Montemayor to defend
right.
you, and you're good. But to argue with the officer on the street or challenge him, you're asking for trouble. Especially when you have a bad cop or a weak cop.
But officers are supposed to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
And even if he did run, does that justify? Is the officer's life or the life of a third party or somebody else in that area in danger? If it is, then understandably, they can use force, reasonable force.
Right.
But, does the taking of a life, is that justified by what the actions of this one guy? Well, you have nothing to be scared of, so why did you run?
Well,
You have that
but I counter
freedom
that.
to do that.
I counter that with two things. One, here we are, armchair quarterbacking that issue.
Every day.
That officer probably had split seconds to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us would make a similar decision or a different decision based on split seconds? And so, again, going back to what Joe was saying about training, I think that's critical. And I think we have lost our humanity to some degree. We're not the same. We play video games where life taking is easy, and then I get a recharge after I get some more tokens, or I stop and get a medic bag, whatever. I think we've lost that connection to some degree. But, those are the challenges we're facing in a digital age, right? And in a hyper-polarized environment, which we are. The country is hyper-polarized right now. And we hope that shows like ours bring people back to the table where we can have that discussion, have that disagreement, poke fun at each other, and then have the last bite.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
let's talk about the paranormal.
Well, first, before we do that, what's happening in a couple of weeks? The World Series comes to Laredo, Texas.
That's right.
Pony World Series. This is our 9th year that they're hosting it. We have teams from Belgium, France, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Chinese Taipei coming to Laredo, and all 4 corners of the U.S. One of the kids that was supposed to be here from Puerto Rico, drafted by the Red Sox. And so he won't be making the tournament because he's been drafted. That's the caliber of play that's happening here in Laredo. July 31st opens at Buena Vista, and then we'll have games there. And then the 18-year-olds will move on Sunday and
I
Monday.
think we're
to
going to
the
be calling some games, right?
We're going to be calling the games. I'm hoping you join us on the mic. You guys come in and do that. Meet and greet on Thursday. We get a chance to watch them exchange pins and have a great time. Learn about their culture, vice versa.
Yeah.
And then
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And it's been happening for a long time. I remember when I was growing up, they had the Continental tournament, baseball tournament, and it's kind of evolved into what we have now. And it's really good. It brings in a lot of people to Laredo. A lot of money comes into our community. they're renting the hotels, they're eating in our restaurants,
You bet.
they're visiting our communities, and so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I hope Laredo goes and enjoys.
And I got to tell you, hats off to Richard Rosas, Ron Navarro, Valdi Guzman, Chuy Olivares, and all the guys that are putting this together, that are doing all the behind-the-scenes work. They've talked to HEB, Whataburger, Popeyes, L&F Distributing, LC College. All these folks are coming together. Now, this is something that I think the city could be a better participant in. They're not. They just give us money, and that's great. And they built this great complex, and hopefully we can make something really good out of that. But this is an opportunity for us to showcase our hospitality.
Yeah.
That's what Laredo is probably the biggest thing they can offer is great hospitality. So
That's
we're
right.
hoping we do that. And then
Talking
on
about
20
hospitality, also, we got a new bishop.
We got a new
We
bishop.
got to welcome him to Laredo. right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bishop Tamayo. Did great for a lot of years, but we got a new one.
We were laughing in the context of baseball. We were laughing at J.J. Gomez, Coach Gomez's, God rest his soul. His final joke: our new bishop is J.J. Gomez. That's something.
JJ goes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yep. So last thing before we go on to the hot topic, July 20th, first day to file for elected office.
That's right.
Interesting.
Some
City,
decisions
actually,
coming.
Some decisions to be made,
the
right?
City, the school district, some of those positions are coming open.
Yep.
I believe also the junior,
The junior co- yeah, the
college,
college.
Loreto College is
Loreto
also going to have
College.
some seats up for election. So, encourage everybody to get involved. Go out and vote. Support your candidates. Let's get some good
And if
people
you don't like the way
supporting.
things are right now, throw your hat in the ring and run.
Absolutely, right?
If not, don't complain.
Don't complain.
That's right.
Don't complain.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with our guests on this topic for the paranormal in just a few minutes. Okay.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
We have a 9-acre facility, 200,000 square feet of indoor storage, as well as about 4 to 5 acres of outdoor storage. Pricing is subject to change based on your selection of either indoor or outdoor availability.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
We have a 9-acre facility, 200,000 square feet of indoor storage, as well as about 4 to 5 acres of outdoor storage. Pricing is subject to change based on your selection of either indoor or outdoor availability.
Paranormal investigator Angel Torres with TPI. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Thank you.
And I don't want to say he's a resident skeptic, but our local skeptic, our good friend David Almaraz, attorney at law, former USAA, assistant USAA, and former assistant DA, here to discuss the paranormal. So, start with you, Angel. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what you've seen, how long you've been doing this.
Well, we've been doing this. This is our 11th year. We started in January 2015, and we do paranormal investigations. Anything in the paranormal realm, which includes we look for fairies, which we caught one already about 3 years ago, over there by Shiloh and McPherson at a residential home. It's on our Facebook. We try to catch duendes or gnomes. Also, that falls in that realm, in the paranormal. We are one of the biggest paranormal groups in the state of Texas. We have about 18 to 20 investigators in my team. We have approximately around $7,000 in equipment, the best equipment that we can get and we can buy what I can afford. And also that TPI does not charge for investigations. We have never. We do it to help the people. You have a problem at home, you call us, and we will help you. No charge. We even do cleansings of your home. We've been doing it for 10
Not the kind where we wipe the counters and that kind of stuff, but
we have
cleansings.
special incense that we use to cleanse your home. And my job is to, when I leave, I'm happy that your family is safe. And that's my reward. And we're doing good. Thank you for the man upstairs, God, for helping us out. I mean, like again, we're here to help. And we've done over 100 plus investigations in Laredo, over 100 plus. And we have sometimes people call us from Houston, Amarillo, El Paso. Hey, we have an I can't go that far because I can't afford it, but I have connections of another paranormal groups in that town.
Sure.
I can just get in my phone, or yeah, Houston, apart, boom, I contact them. Are you guys close? No, give me another guy. And I send them to them to help them, and then tell me what happened. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help. I mean, you need something, give us a call. You know what I'm saying? And we do career days. We do elementary, junior high, high school. We did a presentation at Laredo College at the Cajun Center. We packed it, for one day notice. We were surprised. And we had it was packed in there with students and teachers. And as you know, Laredo College is haunted.
And what got you into paranormal?
What started me in paranormal was that my oldest boy, Timothy, passed away in October of 2013. And in 2014, we started having things happening in my home. Noise. I heard somebody talking, things moving. And I said, you know what? Let's find out. So that's where we started. In January, I started buying all my equipment that I have, and it's my son. He's there all the time. And I told him, and since my other son passed away 5 years ago also, they're both there. We hear him walking, we see the shadows, and they're just there to protect the house. They're good spirits, thank God to that.
Good. David, we had the conversation, you were here present with us when we discussed whether God exists or not. That was a really good discussion that we had on that podcast. And we've also talked about whether we're alone in the universe. And so we tend to be a little more skeptical. But you've seen and heard some things, haven't you?
Yes, and this fascinates me because I'm going to ask you to go to my old office, which was 1802 Houston. Beautiful old building, close to where Javier used to have his building. I was there for 25 years, and I've always been skeptical. That's part of being a lawyer. But I've always been fascinated by the paranormal. Growing up in Hebbronville, we had nothing better to do but to sit around and listen to all grandmas talk about La Luz del Llano, El Monte. And I have probably 20 books on the paranormal and on ghosts in my library. Was able to find out that ghosts in history have been mentioned from Mesopotamia, 3,500 years ago. The Epic of Gilgamesh talks about people talking about ghosts. Babylon also. So, and then Shakespeare, 4 of his plays mention ghosts. So apparently human beings have been, and of course our Native Americans and the spirits. But I've always been a skeptic, and I had never ever imagined being in my office, which I moved in 92, and all of a sudden we started hearing noises. And I would always say, well, there's got to be something. But you hear steps, you hear things falling, chandeliers would fall. So I would tell the girls, walk around. And I knew a gentleman that did what you do back about 20 years ago, and I asked him to come to my office. Had the same equipment probably that you did. And he was able to say, yes, definitely there's some activity going on. But he never could really tell me what it was, hearing 5-year-old kids talking. Also, I had a client that was psychic. And she came in one time and she walked around my office for a while. And at the end, she said, yeah, you have at least 3 spirits. They're all women. And they're all jealous of you. And I said, wait a minute. I thought it was till death do us part. No, it's forever. And so she was able to tell me, well, this house has been here for over 120 years. A lot of people have lived and died here. And some spirits refuse to leave. But just a few anecdotes here is my secretaries would hear steps up and down. They'd see things pass by the side of their eye, didn't know what it was. They'd go upstairs, which they quit going. Somebody would be knocking on the bathroom door, and they'd open it, there's nobody there. I had a company that worked upstairs for about a year, and they would always complain to me, because I said, hey, I don't have a key. But they would leave, let's say, the radio on, and their desks were the way they left them. The next morning they'd get their stuff all over the floor, and the radio was for a different channel station. So we couldn't understand what was happening. But again, all I'm telling you, I never saw what they call apparitions, but I did see and hear. I heard a lot of activity. My secretaries would be eating at one of our conference tables, just 2 of them, and all of a sudden one of the chairs would start moving back. I said, don't worry about it. It's joining you for lunch. So we tended to laugh about it. But again, they would always tell me, well, they're at it again, David. They'd say, the minute you walk in, they'd hear laughter in the kitchen. I said, well, at least they're happy.
Right.
But there were certain things that we just could never explain. Dark, lonely nights. Stormy nights. You'd go upstairs to get some books, and all of a sudden the blinds would keep going up and down. Say, okay, ladies, I'm leaving. We'll see you later.
Good night.
But I accepted that whatever it was, I said they were here before I got here, and they'll be here after I leave.
But couldn't there have been a plausible explanation for any of this?
Believe me, I tried to find out a plausible explanation.
Or the mind just conjured it up. Because like we've talked about this before, the mind is the most powerful tool on the planet.
But everyone I spoke to that were having this episode has a story.
Well, I'm sure.
Everybody that I've talked
got 2 or 3 of my
told
own.
me something. Well, I've experienced this.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
If I may,
everybody had a story.
The neighborhood, the old St. Peter's, every house around there has its entities. Yeah. Your office.
Oh, yeah.
You were telling me you had a name for him.
Oh, yeah. Julio.
Julio, good old Julio. But everybody, and they were telling me stories. I ain't coming to your office anymore.
So why would a spirit or a why would it refuse to leave?
Well, if they've been there all their life and they were raised there and everything, they're happy there. They're comfortable. They don't want to leave. And a lot of times you might have a whole family there at that place because they're happy. They don't want to go into the light. And when we go there and we see them and we talk to them, we try to encourage them to go into the light, to have their family and friends are waiting for them on the other side. And that is what we try to do, to get them out of here. I mean, sometimes they may work, and sometimes it may not. They're just stubborn and they want to stay.
Right.
I mean, I can't fight a fight that I can't see.
But
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, but is asking them to leave a bad thing?
No, sir. I mean, they don't belong
Provided
here.
you're respectful, I'm
Yes, sir.
assuming.
Yeah, I don't think so because when you pass, a good example, my son, he comes and goes. He's not there. Sometimes we don't see him for a while. You know, spirits come and go, but if they want to stay there in that home where they're happy, they're going to stay there. I mean, how much you can try to get them out, and we may not.
So
You
let's go back to something as simple that we've all heard about La Llorona. You know, who apparently lost
Her
children,
her kids,
her
yes.
children drowned there, and she walks up and down the riverbanks, looking for her children. You know, she doesn't go into the light. It's become like a folklore kind of thing. You know,
Yes.
What are some of the most interesting cases that you've investigated?
Well, because of the Llorona, years back, somebody put on Facebook like a mist by Father Magnable Park.
Mhm.
So I told, hey guys, let's go make an investigation. Maybe we can catch her, get some video on her. No, we didn't catch her, but we caught everything else inside that park. We're there from 10 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning. And boy, that park is haunted. I mean, haunted. And we had about 14 investigators with us. And I have night vision cameras. I have night vision, everything that I use. My infrared FLIR cameras, and I have full spectrum cameras. And it's really, there's a lot of activity in that park.
I've asked people, a lot of this activity seems to be at old burial grounds,
Yes, sir.
Indian burial grounds
Yes.
here in Laredo.
And you know
To
where
the north, to the south, they're everywhere.
we did an investigation with KGNS at the Bat Park on
Yeah,
Meadow, on Meadow
Street.
Street.
Yeah, Meadow Street.
Under the bridge, there are a lot of crosses. With my SLS camera, we saw stick figures standing next to their crosses. We're like, oh my God, he's standing right there next to his cross. There's one over here, this one over here, this one over here. They're standing there.
And I asked you, how come some people can see those things and a lot of us can't? Most of us can't.
Because a
hear
lot of
those
people
things.
are gifted. They're clairvoyants, they're mediums, and they're gifted to where they can see and talk to them. It's one thing I've learned in 11 years I've been doing this. I can sense now spirits around me. I can tell you to somebody here in that corner, they're looking at us. I can feel it. I don't know, it just happens when you do it in this kind of stuff for such a long time. You pick
Kind of
things
developed
up.
a sixth sense.
Yes, sir.
So I volunteered quite a bit at San Martin de Porras for the gym with Brother
Okay.
Philip, right? And I used to open the gym for him, and I used to lock the gym, right? And I was talking to Deacon today about it, and I said, I promise, in that gym, you feel things. You hear things, right?
Yes,
so it
sir.
got to the point where I was like you, right? So I was locking up at night, and I would say good night.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I say,
right.
hey, good night, guys. I'm going to take it
Respect.
off.
Respect.
Right? Out of respect,
Yes,
right?
sir.
But I heard noises. I heard kids in that gym,
Yes.
right? Like,
And there's other schools here that they hear people in the gym playing or, doing stupid things like pulling the fire
Javier,
alarms.
Tell us about your experience at your office, this Julio guy. When did you first see him? Or?
Actually, my dad was the one who met him first. You know, it was just, things would start moving. At night when you're working, you start hearing doors slam. We had those motion lights, and we were the only ones there. And you'd see the motion light down the hallway, turning on. And we had those wide sliding doors. And I kept them open, and I'd go to the back room. I'd come back, and
closed.
they were closed, you know, and you just feel, you know, this presence. I tell the story of when I was a teenager. My dad put me to work I was 14, I believe, and I went to work at a funeral home, and it's a long story, but at the end of the day, you know, you had the body in the casket, and I was vacuuming, you know,
Chapel.
the chapel. Thank you, and you can just feel the presence.
Yes.
You know, but I'm skeptical too. I can't see it. I can't touch it. You know, maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. But there is so much out there on the paranormal that you know, and people who a lot of times people lose loved ones, and you can feel their presence.
But you never saw Julio
I've never
at
seen.
the top of the stairs? You just felt something?
My dad did see
Okay.
Julio
Okay.
at the top of the stairs.
I was telling Angel, I'll invite him to go to Heavenville. I'd like to get permission. I don't know if anybody's been there. There's an old hotel, the Vigo Hotel. It was built in 1915.
The Vigo?
Yeah. And a friend of mine I graduated with used to work at the bottom. They had an ambulance service. And every night they would either hear voices when they knew there was nobody in the hotel, music,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that she walked up one time and she saw this man standing there dressed like in the 1920s. And she figured it was the guy in the picture, Viggo Kaler, the one that built that hotel. And then I had another lady about a year ago tell me she used to work there too. She now works here in Laredo as a nurse. She worked down there with my classmate. And she said they'd have to sleep there since they were ambulance. And guys would be grabbed by their feet and thrown out. Most guys said, "We'll see you."
We're done.
But she actually saw this. She said one of the guys was being pulled. He grabbed one of the poles, and he was kind of like, you know, sort of like The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "You've got to go. We got to get permission." But
Yes.
you know, there's places all around. The hospital, Mercy Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings us to one of the questions that one of our listeners asked, and that is, what's the most haunted place here in Laredo? Given your experience in
We did Mercy, and Mercy is very haunted. We hit from the basement to the top floor. I let the digital tape recorder in the morgue, and we came back about 20 minutes later and told us, "Get out," just like that. We're like, "Don't tell me twice, buddy. Have a nice life." You know, I'm getting out of there. It was me and 5 more investigators at Mercy until 4 in the morning. We had permission to go in there when they first closed down. It was still safe to go in, but we seen shadow people. We heard kids crying. We heard people talking, especially in the chapel area and in the church.
I've heard people go in there and get out with scratches on their back.
Well, thank God we didn't, because what I do is before we do any investigation, before we go anywhere, we do a prayer,
Yeah.
the whole group outside, that we have to be for God to protect us while we're in there. We're not here to hurt nobody. We're here to help them, and if we can send them into the light, go for
So
it.
what do you
I'm
think
sorry.
about when people start egging, right? Like the Ouija board, start asking questions like
Well,
that.
the
like-
Ouija
like
board
bringing
is
them
about the
over.
worst thing you can get into, because people say, "Oh, I'm going to close it." That's fine, but it's been open. Once that Ouija board is open, everything is coming in, good and bad. And then, okay, it's closed, but these guys are already in.
Talk about a portal.
Yes, sir. You can
I've heard
open up a
stories,
portal.
Don't buy antiques and take them
Yes.
to your house
That is why.
because they could contain
An
spirits.
entity. Right, and I was telling them I have my EMF meter with me, and when we go to the flea market on Guadalupe, anything I'm like, and people look at me like I'm thinking crazy. I'm like, you know, I hear beeps, we can take it. If it goes beep beep, I don't take it, because that tells me there's an energy with it attached to it.
Have you ever asked to help for the help of an exorcist here in town?
I was
priest.
invited to participate and to start doing exorcism, and I told these individuals, no, I got my hands full as it is with what I'm doing, and I can't put nothing else on my table. And I was asked if I would start participating in doing the exorcism. I said,
Because
no.
it could be dangerous.
Yes, sir. That's the reason why I know. I said, I'm happy what I do. I'm happy by helping the people what we do, our team, and like I say, we're here, you know, and I'll stay where I'm at, you know.
So out of 100, you said you've done over 100 investigations. Let's say
Yes, sir.
out of 100 investigations that you've done, how many have come back positive for some paranormal
Out of 100,
entity there?
I would say about maybe 95%.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's
Sometimes-
very rare that I find a house that is clean. But I'll be honest with you,
But it,
I tell the people like it is. You have a clean house. I'm happy for you. There's nothing here. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Okay, thank you. And if we do find something, I would tell you. And if it's a family member, we would try to communicate with that family member and try to get closure from the family member to the family, because sometimes the family member is scaring the family because they don't understand what's going on. And
You've heard of poltergeist?
Yes, sir.
In my home, new house, for a period of about a year, right about 10:30, I'd hear knocks on the wall, and I'd ask my wife. She said, "No, it's some taquachi." but it was like clockwork, and they say that maybe it's sometimes it's a young girl that's coming into puberty or something like. I don't know, but as far as knocks, that's
But
worldwide.
But Counselor, therein lies my skepticism, because you know the first thing that you thought was, well, maybe it's a taquachi or a
Right.
squirrel or
Right.
a branch,
Right.
something.
But 3 knocks at once. I didn't know squirrels could knock.
I don't know. Maybe they can. Maybe they can't.
I'm
maybe
just
they
telling you,
can't.
I'm a
No, no,
skeptic, but I'm telling you what I heard. And what I
again, all of
experienced.
us.
So how do you explain, like, it's happened to me, right, where I'm at some place and I said, I've seen that before.
Deja
But
vu.
then-
Or
Deja
like a
vu.
deja vu, like,
Yes, sir.
like where have I seen this? Like what
Yeah.
is that?
You have to understand that when we pass away, we, in time, our souls has the opportunity to come back and reincarnate. Not the whole soul, but a piece of your soul.
Like Buddhism.
A piece of your soul will go into another person. And you go somewhere and say, I know, I've been here. And the room's over here, this guy's over here. And how do I know? I've never been here. But that triggered what happened in your past life, that you've been reincarnated. You know, let me tell you real quick. My little grandson, my youngest boy, passed away about 2 or 3 weeks before he was born. This last year, he's 3 or 4. My daughter goes, she has a picture of my son, both of them. He goes, oh, my Uncle Randy, I talk to him all the time. My daughter goes, what? She goes, yeah, I talk to him in heaven. He was in heaven with God and me. We always talk. We have a good time. I miss him. And my daughter calls me. She goes, Dad, you better get over here. And I get over and I talk to him. I go, how do you know your Uncle Randy, son? I talked to him, Grandpa. Where? He goes, in heaven. He told me that I'm going to be your grandson. You're my grandpa. And for me, you know, to be good to you and take care of you. And I'm like, I almost started crying. I started crying because he did not know who he was. He described him to the T of everything.
I'm sure you run into overly skeptical people, you know, all the time, you know, and yeah, probably more than Gene. But how do you run into them all the time? And if you do, how do you deal with skeptical people? And my last question is there paranormal entities that are you know, evil versus good? You know, are they're fighting battles?
Well, let's get to the
first question, I guess.
First question. Let's see. The entities.
How do you deal with skeptical people?
I just tell them, you know what? Come with me. You don't believe? Come with me. I have made dozens and dozens of people who are skeptic to believers. Trust me, I have.
Yeah, one of them called me earlier today.
Well, you got to call for
Because they were
for
shown
me.
evidence.
Yes, sir.
Which
And
is
I
what
tell
we were
people,
talking about last time. I need evidence.
yes, and I tell them, do you deny your eyes? Do you deny what you see? You saw it move, right? Or you think it's a wind?
Well, we've had that
Well, like I
discussion.
said,
Oh my God.
Ghosts have been around, as far as in people's stories,
Yes,
for
sir.
at least 4,000 years.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, the Bible, which I read back and forth all the time, had, up until just a few centuries ago, the Holy Ghost.
Yes, sir.
When did it become the Holy Spirit? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
Or else, when they say he died, he gave up the ghost.
Yes.
So there's always been ghost stories.
Yes.
What about
Throughout,
dreams?
throughout history.
Dreams, what I've learned and which I've studied, is that if you have a dream of a loved one that passes away, talk to them. That's how they communicate with you in your dreams, so they don't scare you.
Or the
And you
ones that
can-
are sitting on top of you and you can't move.
Well, I'm not those. I'm saying I mean, but I've had people tell me my son. I dream about him. I dream about him last night, and he told me he was happy. What does that mean? I mean, he's happy. He came to your dream, so he doesn't scare you and frighten you.
Right.
And that's because when you're asleep, your spirit is in another level to where you can meet and you talk. And I said, don't be afraid to talk to him. When
My
you see him,
skepticism says dreams are another matter completely.
Mhm.
You talk about Freud, the interpretation of dreams. What we dream about, obviously, maybe something that happened 50 years ago.
Mhm.
But does it mean that a spirit is trying to talk to you, or it means you just remembered and they came into your dream?
well, I think if it's one who just recently passed, like your family member, and you have a dream, they're talking to you, and they're trying to communicate. They're trying to tell you they're in peace. They're
Because a lot of
safe.
people say, well, I saw a hummingbird or I saw a cardinal.
A cardinal, right?
But it's,
a butterfly.
Here's where my skepticism comes in. It's an animal. It's a bird.
Yes, it's a butterfly.
It's a coincidence.
Yes.
I just say that the mind conjures up certain things, and especially if you've been focusing on something for a while, or you were meditating on something, or something traumatic happened to you that day, or that week, or that that year. I think the mind has a way, not necessarily playing tricks on you, but helping you believe what you want to believe. You saw, you heard, you felt.
My nightmares usually involve federal judges, but
And on
Maybe
that,
he should go with you to one of these.
maybe I
to one
should
of
go.
these-
But
I'd be more. Hey, go with us if he goes to Heavenville.
let's go to. I need to get permission. Some guy bought it and lives in Houston, so we need permission.
I'd love
Be
to do
more than
that.
happy
go to
to
the first
go.
floor.
Take all the equipment. You want to spend the night? We'll spend the night.
Sounds
So,
great.
Tom,
No.
I've seen some of these shows that these the paranormal investigators that come out on TV, and
Those are the world's worst.
they set up in mental institutions, they set up in old hospitals,
Jails.
Jails.
and and they're measuring energy, they're measuring heat and things like that. How do you measure the paranormal?
Well, I have all the equipment to do so.
Similar stuff that they
Yes, sir. The same thing they use, I got. I've got SLS cameras. I got RAM pods. I got EMF meters. I got Mel meters. I've got Obvious 5B. I can talk to the spirits. I got my little Boo Bear. That's my assistant. That he talks to the spirits.
And
I
they
can put
answer
him here,
you.
and they talk to us. But the thing is, if I'm not the kind of person, oh, I got touch. Oh, no. If it happens, it happens. And I'm going to tell you. I've been doing this for a while. I think I got pushed once. I got pushed pretty good. And they were in the house. And I was in my SLS camera. And I go, hey. And I turn around. There's nobody there. But they pushed me. I felt a push on their hand. And I go, now that's a push. I'm not going to say, I felt
They
it.
didn't like you there.
I guess not. But I didn't stop me. I kept on going until I finished what I had to do. Until we got rid of what's in there. And I do what I got to do. We're here to help, and that's what we're here to. And I've had some bad people, bad spirits, and I have a little remedy that I use. That we had a house that a spirit was in the closet. Every night it comes out. The 3-year-old boy kept on running into the mom's parents' room because there's kukui, kukui. So they call me. They go, I don't believe in what you do. Okay. And he goes, but can you help me? So I said, the spirit's bad. He had a portal in his closet. So one of the remedies that I've been doing for a very long time, I use white salt, sal blanca. I put it, I say this is the door. I get a bowl with a green lime upside down, put salt around it on top with a thick layer of salt all the way around because the spirit cannot cross the salt.
What about lighting candles, the white candles?
You could, yes, that will work, but more powerful is the salt. And that salt would only work for regular spirits. If you have a demon, then I have black salt for demology. That thing must be like $50 a pound. But I got 2 pounds at home. I've had for about 8 years. Thank God I never used it. But I have it in case I run into
About
somebody.
5 years ago, I sold my building. I sold it to this nice young couple. And every time I visit them, hey, have you seen anything? Have you heard anything? No, David, after you left, hey, ¿qué pasó?
They'll come with you.
I was very disappointed.
So
But they left.
do some of these, I guess, spirits, do they attach to the buildings, the homes, or
the
do
ground.
they attach to people?
The ground, because you got a part of Laredo over here off the loop. It's a cemetery, still there, but they're building buildings over it, and they're building houses on it.
Look out, houses.
And then I went over there, and the guy goes, "Sir, my house is haunted." I go, "How far did this cemetery?" "Oh, he went all the way over there." I go, "What do you expect?
Yeah.
You're
So-
There's
disturbing
one on
that."
Shiloh.
So there's a
Yes,
Shiloh
that's the
one.
one. I don't wanna
That's the
say-
one. So I
yes.
went.
Yes.
I went to go look at the property itself.
And they still have the head so
And there's
much.
still, yeah. So I went and I walked it and I saw it and I liked it, but all of a sudden I started coming. I called you about it.
Yeah, you called me
like,
about
like,
it, and I
can
was
you
on the
pick up
planning
the
zone.
bodies and move them? Like,
It just-
so
Pick up
we
the
were
stones.
even talking
Yeah.
about what to do with it. I said, okay, you know what? There's a lot of paranormal people. You know, I go, let's put a coffee, a food truck around it, put some chairs, and then invite people to come walk around, right? But I saw that, and there's some very old.
Yes, sir.
And there's a
very old.
process for removing them. The state of Texas has a very specific process
Yeah.
to take the headstones and the bodies and move them. And it's a bureaucracy. I mean, if getting dead was hard, getting out's even worse.
Harder.
Yeah, harder.
Yeah.
We
So-
were fortunate to go to Shakespeare's burial place in Stratford many years ago. And on his grave it says, "And cursed be he that moves my bones."
So he's putting it out there. in the
Put it out
universe.
there, right?
It's just-
I have a
leave it
friend
alone.
who was over Kurt Cobain's tombstone and heard something. So, speaking of that, let's take a quick break and we'll come right back and finish up the hot topic, and then we'll roll back into the last bite.
Thank you.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
We have a 9-acre facility, 200,000 square feet of indoor storage, as well as about 4 to 5 acres of outdoor storage. Pricing is subject to change based on your selection of either indoor or outdoor availability.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
We're back. Mike, your host, Joe Balmares, our guest, Angel Torres with TPI, and David Almaraz, counselor, attorney at law. And we've been having this great discussion about the paranormal here in Laredo and, of course, other places, Hebbronville. I know that the counselor's been out there. But one of the things that I find interesting is that all of us here have had an experience of some sort, right? Joe, what was yours?
My dad passed away 2014, and to the very day, ever since they passed away, I see feathers every day.
You
I
see feathers?
A feather in the ground, a feather somewhere. And at one time, I was talking to a friend of mine. Matter of fact, Pastor Mike, right? And we were having a conversation, and I told him, I go, every time I sometime throughout the day, I see a feather. And I'm trying to tell him that to me, I relate it to my dad. So while I'm having the conversation, I promise you, from I don't know where, but a feather just came in between both of us.
Yeah.
So I think that's every day or almost every day, to me, that's my dad talking to me in something. If I'm having a good day, if I'm having a bad day,
He's watching over you.
And I say, hey, Dad, I say hello and keep going.
He's watching over you.
Yes.
Counselor?
Well, when I first moved into my office, 1802 Houston, it was about 24 years ago. I hadn't gotten married. I was married about 23 years ago. So I told my fiance, let's go get some papers from my office. It was around Christmas time, so we had a pretty good Christmas tree in the living room. So she walked in and says, what a nice tree. And I said, I got on my hands and knees because the way it was set up, I had to go like 4 or 5 feet to plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And she was, oh, okay, bonito and all that. So at that point, again, I had to be on my hands and knees and move about 4 or 5 feet to plug it in. Now, at that point, I said, hey, I got to go get some files upstairs. Let's go. So we went upstairs, not more than 5 minutes. Came down. Something had yanked the wire and was thrown. We looked at each other, and I freaked out. I called my secretary. I said, have you been to the office? Sir, are you crazy? It's Saturday. I said, well, something happened, but that, to me, unexplainable.
Interesting.
I mentioned jealous ghosts, right?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Didn't want to see
So
each other?
that to me said somebody's playing with me, so let's leave.
Around the corner from David's office, I used to have my office, 1814 Victoria, and it was a corner. And you do the little research on the historical, on the home itself, and the history of it, and it had been built for one of the gentlemen that was around at that time, the late 1800s. In fact, the picture of the home where it sat, there was no other homes around it, and it was Fort McIntosh, that was surrounding it. And back then, they used to have the wakes for the dead in the home itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for me, I always believe that the walls have history. The walls,
the walls could talk,
they
right?
could talk. They've seen a lot of things, they hear a lot of things, and so even when I buy a home now, I have it blessed before I actually move in, and maybe blessed as you grow in there. But for me, it was my dad was the first one to experience, and he named it Julio for whatever reason, but he was the first one to experience some seeing him upstairs, hearing him. I'm sitting in my office at night, and I'd work late, and you can hear the footsteps up on top, and you can hear the doors slamming. Or like I said, we have these motion lights down the hallway, and you can see the motion lights go on in sequence as you walk out into the hallway.
That's cool.
And it just, you have that sense that you have that feeling there. And my secretaries have, even now, they hear things, they hear voices, and I don't hear them as often in my new office, but they hear things all the time.
Prior to you starting this and the incident with your son, had you ever had a paranormal experience?
Yes. Before my boys passed away, my mom passed away.
Uh-huh.
And because we're from Indiana, and she passed away up in Indiana. And she used to stay with us for 3-4 months a year. And she loved to see the novelas at 6 o'clock sharp, that Mexican novelas, all the time. And one day, okay, kids, we're going to go to bingo. We're going to go to bingo. The kids like it. We go play. And we're just getting ready to get out of the house, and my TV comes on. at exactly 6 o'clock on the Spanish station.
By
We're like,
itself.
all by itself. And there's a 60-inch TV, just boom, came up. And we're like, okay. I go, guys, relax. I go, Mom, stay here as long as you want. Enjoy the movie, Mom. Enjoy your novelas. But when you leave, please shut it off, please. And we'll be back. We came back. It was off. And I mean, that was
old
cool.
Mexican lore.
Wow.
They said you should not grieve somebody
Right.
for that long. Like, for example, the picture on the wall of that dead person, where you grieve, grieve, grieve. After a while, sometimes it falls.
Yes.
Yeah, grieve, but then you're gone.
Let it go.
But if you don't want to let them go, maybe they can't make that transition.
Correct.
Because they're-
Very correct. Yes.
Which brings us, I mean, we were talking about, that a lot of experiences happen as people are passing. They begin to see people that have already passed
Yes.
as they're being told, welcomed into the light. And so my story was this, in that, I've had a couple of those. My mother-in-law, who died at home in hospice, she was talking to her best friend who had died several years beforehand. But the one story that really kind of caught me off guard was my grandmother, my aunt was in a nursing home. She was already getting close. She'd already started to have the conversations, and one of her sons, Domingo Dimas, walked in and was having a conversation with her, and then he had to step out, but he left his phone recording because he'd been recording the conversations. So my grandmother and the orderly, who were doing whatever they were doing, you can hear those two voices in there, but you can also hear her having a conversation with another person, and she's telling that person to wait, something's going on, and that person's having a conversation with them. So he got that recording. Now, he can't hear that third conversation, but when he shared that recording with his sister, the sister could hear the other voice, and the other sister could hear the voice. The men could not hear that voice.
Just the females.
Only the females. So she sends it to me. I can't hear it. And of course, I'm skeptical, so maybe I didn't hear it. But I shared that with my daughter and said, can you, because they told me who they believed it was, or my cousins both said, this is who it is. And so I shared it with my daughter, and I said, can you hear a voice in there? And she starts to listen, and she just starts to cry. She immediately, her eyes just start to water. And I said, what is it? It's your dad. Is your dad telling his sister it's time to go? That he's here for that it's time to go. Now, she was 2 years old when he passed, so no real recollection of his voice, but she picked up that voice. I couldn't hear it.
There's a great book by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, Death and Dying, where she has been by the side of many people that are passing, and almost to the person, they start talking to people that left already.
Yeah, I've heard
A
that
lot
a
of
lot.
times they go like this.
And they reach up
Yeah,
to
Right,
them.
you wanna hug them.
Take me. I'm
Ready to
I've
Yes.
heard that a lot.
Yeah,
I've heard that a
no,
lot.
and it's,
Yeah.
You know, I stand, and they're
Yeah, viene por
Mamá,
mí.
abuelo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
and my grandmother, when she was passing, said, your father's coming for me. Viene tu papá. So
Interesting.
The same with my son. That's what I told him. Your brother's here. I felt him. I go with him. Be happy. I said, don't worry about us, but just keep an eye on us once in a while.
Yeah.
Help us out when we need something. But you go and have a good time, son. I go, you can run, you can do what you want, and just go.
great.
Interesting.
And so we'll be right back after a quick break, and we'll get to the last bite.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
We have a 9-acre facility, 200,000 square feet of indoor storage, as well as about 4 to 5 acres of outdoor storage. Pricing is subject to change based on your selection of either indoor or outdoor availability.
Life is full of great moments, special moments, shared with friends, family, and loved ones. But for some, pain deprives us from fully enjoying these moments. If chronic pain is keeping you from fully enjoying life, there is hope. Hi, I'm Dr. Marta Martinez. At Advanced Spine Pain Solutions, we're dedicated to treating our patients with the most advanced and compassionate care possible. Visit us for an evaluation and let our experienced staff help you get back to living a pain-free life.
Welcome back to 3 Men and a Mic with your host Joe Barron, Javier Montemayor, Gene Belmares. Our two guests, Angel Torres with TPI, the Torres Paranormal Investigations, and attorney at law extraordinaire David Almaraz. And last segment of our show is called The Last Bite, and we always talk about food. And today we want to talk about comfort food. Where's a good place after you got a good scare to go get some good comfort food?
Well, for us, after we've done an investigation a lot of times, we go to Whataburger.
That's
It's a
comforting.
place to go calm, sit, do a little debriefing.
Detox.
Yes. And we sit there, relax. And it's open all night, so we're not in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what time it is, 1, 2, or 3 in the morning.
David?
I like Lolitas.
Lolita, so
Lolitas has a little of everything. And the prices are excellent, and the kitchen is excellent. So Lolitas is my go-to.
Joe?
I like for comfort food. I like La India.
Really?
Yeah, they have some
Because
very,
everybody's comfort
very
food is
good
different,
mole.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's comfort food is
Yes.
different. Mole is a good comfort
Yeah.
food. But
To me, more like the comfort food is what your grandma used to make.
yeah.
You know, that's what I think it is. So my grandma made some delicious mole. So La India has some very good.
They make
comfort
some
food.
great stuff there.
Oh yeah.
How is-
So I like as comfort food. You know, I like the simple stuff. You know, caldo del pobre. You know, fideo with
Oh,
beans. You know, some carnita in there with some tortillas. I could eat that all day long. You know, all weekend long. You know, it's comfort food. You know, for me, that's just you know, people have pizzas and wings and burgers and stuff, but I like the simple stuff.
Especially
Basically,
when it's cold.
Yeah.
The one day on the rig.
Yeah, the
One
or the
day.
4 hours.
day.
more.
that one. It's got un caldo del pobre. It's got the fideo. It's got the carnita in it. And it's got beans in it with some tortillas de harina.
Taco Palenque has that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very good.
They do.
I haven't had dinner
Yes.
yet. I'm starving.
There you go.
I'm gonna run somewhere.
For me, comfort food really is, Southern cooking.
Yes.
I grew up in a Hispanic home, so I ate all the same things you did. We used to call it the brown platter, a piece of meat, rice and
Calabaza,
beans,
calabaza.
right? Calabaza con
Calabaza con
puerca or guisadito. But as I got older and got to go places, the first time I ever had collard greens and mac and cheese and mashed potatoes with gravy, that's my comfort food. So I love places like Luby's because
yeah.
you can get that array of things. There used to be a restaurant there in North Laredo, right there where I guess where Ages is, that used to have comfort food like that. And again, it was just mac and cheese. It was okra, chicken fried steak.
You know who has some good? I mean, if you're talking like that kind of food, Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Cracker
it's one of
Barrel
my
has,
favorite
has
places to
some
go.
biscuit and
Yes.
gravy.
Biscuits and gravy,
You know,
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I make a mean biscuit and gravy. Absolutely, absolutely. I make my own biscuits, make my own gravy.
Grits?
Grits are okay. But I like
My cousin Vinny.
I like my grits
Yeah,
with
I
shrimp. I like shrimp grits. Yeah,
Never
to
had
me
that.
that's a comforting food. Again, because you're usually going to take a nap right after eating all of that.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff. Simple stuff.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it conjures up the memories of your youth.
Home style.
Home style.
Yeah, home.
Oh yeah, and for us, Friday night in our house was fried chicken. Because Dad would get paid, he'd go to churches and bring a box of fried chicken.
So my on both sides, right? My mom has 9 brothers and sisters. My dad had 13 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Right. So my grandma's house was the place to go. Right. So at both grandmas, you would walk in there, and I'm talking about every day. There was a mountain of freshly tortillas, freshly made tortillas, and some beans. You're hungry? Un taquito.
With a bucket of lard, right? Because
It was lard. Back in the day, that's all it was.
Hey,
People lived to the 90s.
it was good.
Yeah, people
Oh,
lived to
yeah.
the 90s.
And,
Exactly.
and that
It was good.
best food ever.
I remember
Absolutely.
that. I remember
Best
that.
food ever.
Absolutely. Now,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
nowadays
would
doctors
roll.
tell you not.
They
roll
roll
the
it, right?
Yeah.
No filters, no.
Doctors
That's
tell you
the-
not to eat bacon and
That's where the doctors go.
Oh, man. I still remember when I saw my grandmother roll for the first time. And this lady has some skills.
George Burns' favorite line when Johnny Carson said, "How many little cigars you smoke every day?" About 6 or 7. What does your doctor say about that? Oh, he's been dead for 10 years.
George Carlin said, just think that food like your mom used to. My mom was a terrible cook. I don't want to go there for.
Don't go there. Well, I hope you guys had as much fun with the podcast as we have having you all on. Angel, how
Thank
do people
you.
get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, you can go to our Facebook, and it's under Torres Paranormal Investigations.
TPI.
TPI, become a follower. You can text me on our Facebook, and if you're ever interested in doing an investigation with us, let me know. Text us, hey, Mr. Torres, I want to do an investigation. Give me your name. I'll contact you, name and telephone number. I'll call you. Hey, we have one going on. Would you want to go? But remember,
and you
it's
don't,
it's
and
free.
You don't charge.
No charge. It's free, guys. I don't can pay you,
that's good.
and everything's for free. And but I do tell everybody is anybody who's on my team, they have to have respect for the spirits. I do not tolerate no disrespect for the spirits because it's somebody's mom and dad, brother or sister, and I don't like that. If you do that, you're out.
Is it better daytime or night?
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I do
They're there all the time.
I do overnighters if you wish.
Well, David, best way to get a hold of you? If I get into trouble?
No, you buy me.
Get in trouble.
You know,
The super lawyer, man.
Super
get out
lawyer.
of jail free.
Get out of jail free card. The super lawyer. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We've had a
Yeah.
great
Thank you very
discussion.
much.
And
Thank you for inviting
hope you
me.
come back. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were watching the show and have a story of your own you want to share with us, share them with us. We're going to have a second episode at some point, I'm sure, because we're going to wind up in Heavenville. I'm the skeptic. I'm going to wind up going just because I got to go.
And may the spirits be with you.
And may the spirits be with you. Absolutely. But thank you for joining us. Our next hot topic is going to be, is your city broken? There's
Or
a lot of, or broke, or both, broken and broke.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night. Joe, Javi, Gene,
Thank
3
you.
Minute of Mike. Have a good night.
Adios.